Like it.
Got a little alien now. See if I can get to some of my breakfast.
I'm looking up today in movie history. 21 years ago, the movie Mean Girls premiered.
Wow.
That movie's 21 years old. That movie's old enough to drink. Lots to get into today.
Yeah.
Rockets, Lakers on the brink.
Who's going to survive?
It's a good question. Who should be more embarrassed by losing in 5? The gentleman's sweep.
Yeah. We are live on YouTube. Just check right now. There we go. What's up, Sam Salinas?
Dude, Willie Nelson turned 92 yesterday.
Sid says, am I high as fuck, or am I high as that timer fast as fuck? No, the timer's going, man. Y'all are just late. It's showing you the seconds there. Tenths of a second. We got 20 seconds left.
Gal Gadot turned 40 today.
Did she? Somebody likes the Susio alien.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Area 210 podcast. My name's Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. Rocking the Stephon Castle jersey today as we celebrate back-to-back Rookie of the Years. First, it was Victor Wembanyama in 2024. Stephon Castle wasn't unanimous, but it was pretty damn close. Winning the award last night, the NBA made the announcement just after 6 p.m. We're going to get into that. We're going to get in the whole situation involving Giannis and Tyrese Halliburton's dad. What a crazy scene last night. What should the NBA do about this, right? Should the NBA step in? We'll get into that. We're also going to talk about the Lakers, the Rockets, backs against the wall tonight, game 5. Which one is most likely to get bounced? And which one should be most embarrassed if they do get bounced? Lots to get into. We talk sports, pop culture, nostalgia, but I'm back in the saddle, Joe. It's nice to be here in studio. I'll be here today, tomorrow, and Friday. Fantastic. Might also be back next week as well for some of the shows. But You do realize I did come back from Jamaica, right? We showed the photos yesterday.
Yeah.
Brought you back a little something, Joe.
All right. What is it, man? Let's see.
So I know you like your spirits, right?
Yeah.
I know you like a little bit of alcohol, right?
Yep.
But did you know that the most popular rum in Jamaica has a pretty funny name to it?
Really?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I brought you back some Big Black Dick. Big Black Dick Premium Caribbean rum, white chocolate version. But the dark chocolate might be too much. But here you go, Joe. I'm going to leave this for you right here.
All right.
Don't say that I don't ever bring you occasions. I brought you back some Big Black
Damn,
Dick.
Mike. Just when I think you can't outdo yourself, you go and do something like this.
Well, what's funny was that, remember the rum that was popular in Barbados when I went there last winter was called Mount Gay. So I was telling Chica last night, I was like, Mount Gay, Big Black Dick, what's going on in the Caribbean when it comes to the rum?
Damn, man. You know, Jeff is gonna see this and he's gonna be like, he's gonna get the clip. It's gonna be out there before the show's even over, dude.
And what's so funny is that Chica and I were given some of this rum and we tried it. It was like fantastic. Like, what is this called? And we lost our minds, just dying hysterically when it was revealed to us that the actual name of it is called Big Black Dick, and it shows a dude with a beard on there, like a black pirate.
What did Chica say when you picked that up?
Oh, dude, we bought a whole big bottle for ourselves. We got the big like 750 on it, but here's
No,
yours.
I'm sure she was laughing. Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. And there, we'll show the picture so you all can see. There you are. Oh God, man.
We already got a super chat coming in from the
Yep,
Drew
Drew
Show
Show.
saying, all right, which one of you guys in the audience was trolling the illegal and the tree from yesterday? I heard someone say that he was sneaky athletic. Is this the videos of jumping through the waterfalls yesterday? That one guy, by the way, who was our tour guide, did the entire thing barefooted, Joe, going up and down. I don't know what it's called, the forest, the jungle, whatever it's called.
Yeah, you're in the jungle, man.
Up and down, no shoes. I'm there in, my cushioned running shoes, going up and down, right?
Yeah.
Got some Hokas on, right? Went up and down there. Had a fantastic time. Chica had her shoes on. This guy was just by himself and is just barefooted the entire time, going up and down. He jumped off what had to be 20, 25 feet.
Damn.
No big deal. No big deal. But that was pretty fun, dude.
You know what I was going to ask you? What I'm thinking of doing? I saw this, browsing the internet and stuff because I got my 3D printers behind me, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to buy some special filament and I can actually make shoes. So I was going to try to see if I can make shoes. If I make shoes that fit you,
yeah,
off of the 3D printer, would you wear them?
Sure, I'll try them on.
Just to see what they feel like.
Yeah.
I was going to make one for you and one for Chica.
That'd be badass. Sam Salinas reaches out to us saying on our YouTube stream, the chat is powered by MCS General Contracting, saying, for that being BBD, that bottle sure is small, he says. Dude, that bottle was like $23, man. It's funny because the big bottle was like 60. They take their rum seriously over there in the Caribbean.
Hey, I gotta hand it to them, man. At least they stayed with the theme and they have the Black Pirate on here, man.
Show the picture again.
God. There you go.
There you go.
There it is. There it is.
Some big black dick in the morning, Joe. You can have some big black dick over the weekend. You can have some big black dick, when no one's home. You can have some big black dick with your friends. I mean, really, there's nothing to say that you can't just celebrate.
Look at
life
what Elias wants you to say.
without
Elias,
having some big black dick.
Look at what he says. He says, and there you is.
No, I'm not going to, because that'll be a clip that will live in infamy.
I tried, Elias. I tried. I'm sure it'll slip out sooner or later. You'll probably go on live or something with Chica and be like, you know what? This is pretty good.
What's gonna slip out? The big black dick?
No, man. You're gonna say that you actually like this stuff, dude. I'm just like, damn, Mike.
Okay, so they're talking about somebody who ran up a tree in San Antonio to evade arrest for 6 hours to evade arrest and deportation. Haven't seen that story, but you know what? Later on in the show, we'll look that up, dude. We'll follow that up.
Yeah. So what happened was the guy was from Guatemala, right?
Yeah.
So they had already deported him once, and then he came back the second time, and they pulled him over. They're going to pull him over, traffic stop or what have you, and he bolted. So he ran up in the tree, and ICE was there. The CBP at this point, it was going to be Customs and Border Patrol. They were there for 9 hours trying to coerce the guy to come back down.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because he knew he was going back, because this was his second
I have a
offense.
photo of it right now.
Yeah.
This is courtesy of KSAT 12.
Let's see it.
Apparently, it was more than 6 hours. The
like
KSAT
9.
12 and also New York Post saying it was 9 hours, the whole incident, but 6 hours in the tree. This all went down last night. Kind of interesting. I mean, that's a way to escape, right? By climbing up the tree. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't go anywhere.
Why did they wait that long? I mean,
well, it's probably somebody's property.
But they were there looking at him, dude. It's like, that's the waste. At this point, knowing what I know, because I do work for the Department of Homeland Security, that's the waste of resources, man. Like, just go get the guy, dude.
Yeah.
Tase him. Put him in the truck, man. Everybody's busy right now doing, at my job, doing what I'm doing now. I mean, like, everybody's super busy, dude. We don't have time to be waiting 9 hours for a dude stuck in a tree.
So, Chica is Native American, right?
Yeah.
And we're planning on going to a Native American casino over the weekend. And I asked her, bring your passport in case they don't let you back out. because she's Native American. My Apache princess is what she is. Congratulations to Stephon Castle, the San Antonio Spurs, the number 4 overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft, was named Rookie of the Year yesterday. It's like the 5th time in NBA history you've had a team have back-to-back Rookies of the Year. Not only he joins the likes of not only Victor Wembanyama, but Tim Duncan and David Robinson before him, which is fantastic. Think about that, Joe. Since 1989 or 1990, we've had basically 4 in the last 35 years. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. But I have the graphic up, Joe.
You do?
How the voting went, because Spurs fans got a little bit butthurt because they wanted it to be unanimous. But these awards very rarely are. But if you look at it, Stephon Castle with 92 first place votes out of 100, 7 second place votes, and 1 third place vote. To be honest with you, only 1 voter distant. Right? That's that third place vote, whoever that was.
That was the Mike Jimenez voter right there.
Everyone says it. I wish I had a vote. That would have been amazing. Zachary Richardsay, who was the number 1 overall pick, got 5 first place votes, finished 2nd place. Third place was Jalen Wells. He picked up the remaining 3 first place votes. Jalen Wells also had a fantastic season for the Memphis Grizzlies. Alex Sarkim in 4th, Zach Edey 5th, also getting votes. Kellel Ware of Miami, Matas Buzelis of Chicago, and Jared McCain of Philadelphia, which is kind of weird because McCain didn't qualify for the number of games played. So I don't know what the heck's going on with that, right? You needed to have 65 games played.
Yeah.
He didn't have 65 games played, but he still got a vote. But congratulations to Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle went to social media to thank the Spurs fans, to thank the NBA for the awards, saying that he's excited and wants to get back to work. Stephon Castle is a fun player to watch. And I've been a Spurs fan since birth, Joe, and I'm glad that you're wearing the Spurs cap. Yeah. But you go back in time. I remember I grew up. I remember back in the day of being a Gervin fan. My favorite player growing up was Mike Mitchell in the 80s, right? Then it gravitated towards, I was a big Willie Anderson fan, but those teams sucked, right? And then you go off and then you look at David Robinson, Victor Wembanyama, Manu, Tony, all the players that we had in history, Kawhi Leonard. I would go on to say, Joe, that Stephon Castle might be my top 5. I'm going to put him at number 5.
Okay.
Of favorite players to watch. Just fun players to watch. Didn't say the 5th best player of all time when it comes to Spurs history. Just pure fun to watch. Okay? Joe, who is your favorite Spur all time to watch play? In their prime, when they were young, whatever the case may be, not your favorite player of all time, the most fun player to watch.
Fun player to watch for me was probably going to be Manu Ginobili.
Okay.
Right? I like to watch
I have
Manu.
him too.
The other one that I like to watch play, when I didn't really understand the gravity I was watching at the time as a kid, but I thought he was polarizing. Like, man, that was pretty good, George the Iceman Gervin.
George Gervin.
Where they would take me to the hemisphere back in the day to watch the games, and I would just see him being able to do the things he did and do the finger roll. He looked so majestic doing the finger roll in person, just gliding through the air. I was like, hey, man, that's pretty sweet, So I liked watching George Gervin play.
So Gervin, we're only a year or 2 difference in age, Joe. So I look back at Gervin. Gervin was big with the Spurs when I was like 7 or 8, and I did go to those games, but I didn't remember so much watching Gervin play. Although I would say he was one of the 5 best players, 5 most fun players to watch. My most fun player to watch, Joe, call me an old timer. I don't care. Still David Robinson.
Okay.
I think David Robinson, watching him play back in the early 90s, mid 90s, we had never seen a gazelle like that. Somebody, a 7-footer who could run the break the way that he did. He was an amazing player, an underrated player. Absolutely loved David Robinson as my favorite player to watch as far as fun aspect of it is concerned. My second most fun player of all time, Manu Ginobili. Manu's number 2. Number 3, Joe, Kawhi Leonard. Hate to say it. Most fun to watch. 2016, 2017, 2015, Kawhi Leonard. So I would say Robinson, Manu, Kawhi. Then I'd say Parker. And then I'd put at number 5, most fun players to watch. I would put Stephon Castle.
There you go. And we do have him on the line right now. We have the one and only Jeff Garcia joining us. So we're going to have to introduce him proper.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar.
Dollar, dollar. All right. Thanks, Jeff, for joining us. We appreciate you donating some of your time here because I know you're a busy man. But we're talking about who our favorite Spurs players of all time were to actually watch in person.
Yeah, the fun aspect, not the greatest player of all time.
Just fun.
The fun player where you were like, man, that's my dude, that's my guy, that's my son, if you will. Who is your favorite Spurs? Because I have Castle at number 5. My rankings go Robinson 1. I had so much fun watching Robinson play back in the day. Number 2, Manu, just because he was kind of a cardiac type of player, right?
Yeah.
He'd make you, he would make you so excited, but also put a pit in your stomach. Number 3, I had Kawhi Leonard. Number 4, I'd say TP, and I'd say Castle is 5. Dude, I have more fun watching Castle than I do Wemby.
You know what? I kind of agree with Big Sean PD. He says MJ, my favorite all time. You know, I had the pleasure of watching both David Robinson and Michael Jordan go toe to toe in Hemisphere,
and watching Robinson swat.
No, it was a good game. It was a very good game, and I asked to watch that game. I wanted to go to the Hemisphere and watch that game when I was a kid. It was right in the month of March, right around my birthday, and that's what I asked for. And I got to see the greats go at it. Went to the fan shop and brought me some Upper Deck basketball cards.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I was blessed with the Michael Jordan hologram and the David Robinson hologram in those packs of cards that I got. So it was a good day.
That's amazing. But we're celebrating the Rookie of the Year of Stephon Castle and Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Who was the most fun Spur to watch in your years of fandom?
No particular order. I got Iceman, Alvin Robertson, Dennis Rodman, Manu, 5-0, and I think I put Parker up there too. And then
I didn't hear Kawhi.
No Kawhi?
No, who is that guy? I don't know who that is.
He who shall not be named.
Kawhi is that one player who eventually will have his jersey up in the rafters at the Prospect Center.
I don't think that'll happen.
You know what?
You really want to start that up.
Do you know where it's going to happen, Joe? It's going to be the first one raised at Project Marvel.
And you're out of your mind.
The Deuce.
You're out of your mind.
So we heard Jeff Garcia giggling before the show, before he came on to the show. Was there anything on your mind, Joe? Jeff, rather?
Oh, God, man.
Just, I guess I don't even know where to begin because Casey Vieira asked me yesterday. He was just curious. That's all. He wasn't trying to cook you or nothing. He was just genuinely curious. Like, how did this all begin? Like, the legend, the memes, this. Like, how did it all begin? And I was like thinking about it. I was like, oh my God, just so much had happened. And I kind of highlighted a few things for him. I go, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, you got locking your dogs out during the monsoon. You got saying how Kawhi Leonard's jersey should be retired. You have how you're the reason why a Spur has their jersey retired.
Johnny Moore back in 1997.
You have yourself going to a public Spurs event with fans at the Frost Plaza, at the Victory Capitol, and announcing how much game you got. What else?
So you know what you do? It's like a top 10 list of things. Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs Against 5. Don't know if you dropped off or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Jeff, you still there with us?
That's kind of funny.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
yeah, we can hear you now.
Now we hear you. You dropped off for a few seconds. So yeah.
Sorry.
Now, are these the greatest hits or the greatest misses?
No. There were just like the random things that popped in my head. I mean, then you got you yourself being racist recently, saying like.
Shadur Sanders.
I mean, talking about like. The run thing, to the point that you got dragged out for comments about Mexicans on the Current. What else?
Oh, I called the city poor.
Oh no, how you said you can hire Mexicans to build the new arena downtown based on your 1099s. Oh yeah, let's not forget too how you said you dated a stripper.
I did unknowingly back in the late 90s.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Thanks, Jeff.
No problem. What was the other one too?
Oh no, remember when he played famously with Tim Duncan? They asked him to ball and he turned him down because he didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah, because I got scared.
He didn't want to hurt him.
And didn't want to hurt him. Hey man, hey, if little kids can play soccer with Victor Wanyama, all right, Tim Duncan can come into racquetball and fitness on 410. I mean, and 410 on and Babcock, and want to play late night ball, and I just happened to be there. It happened.
Yeah,
It happened.
Oh,
Right.
you didn't see the beginning of the show, Jeff. Go back and watch.
So what happened?
Mike was serving up some gold for you, man. So you might want to go and.
Oh,
and
what
look.
did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss?
I brought back. Can
Oh.
you see his screen, Jeff?
Oh,
Okay.
no, I can't because I'm on the cell phone. But
Okay.
I brought back some.
I think it's delayed a little bit.
I brought back some rum from Jamaica for Joe because I thought, you know what? And Chica was like, hey, we got to bring something back for Joe, right? You're going to be back in San Antonio this week. Bring something back for Joe. And I'm like, okay, cool. So
Thank you for thinking of us.
No
you know?
problem.
Yeah.
But I got him some rum, Jeff, and the most popular
Sure.
rum in Montego Bay, Jamaica. No lie. You go to every store, every bodega, every bar.
Yeah.
The number one rum is not Bacardi. The number one rum is not something that you find at Specs. The number one rum is called Big Black Dick.
You're messing around.
No. And I brought him a bottle of Big Black Dick.
What are you trying to imply there, He-Man? Is that that Joe likes something or what?
I'm implying that he's gonna like the Big Black Dick. It's gonna
no!
It's gonna go down well. It's gonna go down smooth.
No, He-Man, you're setting it up for yourself for a massive
Bro.
cooking.
Dude, you should have heard us earlier, Joe.
Jeff, you got to go see the beginning of the
but
show, man.
Joe, but at the same time, he's kind of low-key cooking you right now.
I'm just leaving this one
Hey,
alone. He's on an island all on his own. Because I told him in the beginning, I said, you just gave Jeff gold for like the rest of the year. He's going to go and see the beginning of this. He's going to clip it and say, put it on the X and be like, Michael Jimenez said, what? And there you go.
But Jimenez, did you like it though?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Now they have 3 different flavors. They have dark chocolate, white chocolate, and coconut. So I tried all 3. All 3 flavors.
Which one was your favorite? Which one was your favorite?
The white chocolate.
Interesting, Jimenez.
Very, very nice.
Why do you say it like that? Why do you say it like that for?
But I'm just saying, you know, who was white chocolate again in NBA? Plays for the Kings. Who's that again? Was that Jason Williams? Who was that again?
No, you said it right, Jason Williams. Yeah,
Jason
that's
Williams.
right.
You
You got it.
White chocolate.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah.
We got
It's good.
We
It was
got a
good.
$10 incoming
Hey.
super chat that we need to get to. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
No, Jimenez, did your significant other like it too?
Oh, she thought it was amazing. She had it more than once.
Man, if Chica goes back and watches it, she's gonna be like, what the hell is going on?
Jimenez, you shared it with her?
Yes, I did. It was me,
What
her,
the
and
hell,
some,
Jimenez?
yeah, it was me, her, and some Big Black Dick. We had a good time with it.
Jeff,
What?
he's doing it to himself, man. I try to help him, man.
I mean, you just take it straight, you know. Just
Oh God.
Taking what straight?
Jeez, Mike. And Seth told him to say that he likes it. You know?
you wanted me to say I love it.
Yeah.
$10 super chat coming in from the Drew Show. Thank you for the support, Drew. Saying 2 Rookie of the Years, an uncrowned Defensive Player of the Year, and an All-Star who's clutch, potentially a top 3 pick in this year's draft. We're rapidly coming up to a no exclusive scenario for whatever coach we get. He wants the grito. He gets the grito.
He paid $10.
He paid
he's getting
$10.
that
He
grito.
gets it.
Yep.
Por presumir a mis amigos les conté que en el amor.
That's right, man. Grito time. $10. Drew Show. Thank you so much for that. Rudy G coming up to us and saying, pause. Matt Lerma says, not be laughing uncontrollably at work.
Get rid of the old man, bro. We need to get Leja to do the grito. That's what I'm trying to do, man.
That would be fun. That
Yeah.
would be fun. Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. You know, last night was a pretty interesting thing that happened in the NBA. Milwaukee Bucks got knocked out. They blew a 7-point lead with 40 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And before that was an
Brutal.
overtime. They blew a 4-point lead with a minute to go in regulation, go off and lose 2 terrible turnovers, a jump pass for no reason that led to a turnover, and then the ball just slips through the hands of one of the players later on. Tyrese Halliburton makes a layup to win the game. And then you see Halliburton's dad go after Giannis after the Bucks had been eliminated. Giannis underneath the basket, minding his own damn business. And Tyrese Halliburton's dad goes up and just goes up into his face. Jeff, when you saw that, what did you think?
I didn't know it was his dad. I thought it was just a random fan.
No, it's Halliburton's dad. We'll show the video.
Well, regardless, dad or not, he's still a fan. Should not have been out there.
So we have a video on my screen here. It's fan video from yesterday, courtesy of FanDuel, actually. You see Giannis just minding his own business in the paint. He's a basketball player. He's out there just hanging out. You know, the game is just over. And after the game, Halliburton's dad apparently was waving a towel. So you see a towel right there. And they asked Giannis exactly what was being said. And Giannis said that Halliburton's dad was screaming, "This is what we effing do. This is what we effing do. This is what we effing do." And Giannis' response in the post-game interview was saying, "You do realize I'm a champion, right? That you are being disrespectful. I am a champion. You guys have never won anything." Halliburton, after the game, tweeted out, "Underrated who?" Right? Because the Athletic released a poll of anonymous NBA players where they listed or ranked the most most overrated players in the NBA. Number one topping list was Tyrese Halliburton, so he gets the game-winning shot. He's played well in this series. But Giannis went out there. What did he have? Like 30 points, 23 rebounds, and like 30, 20, and 13,
Giannis,
13 assists.
And an L.
Yeah.
And an L.
But Giannis had put up some great numbers throughout this series, only for them to lose. Even in this last game, he still put up great numbers. He had 30 points, thing like 20 rebounds, something crazy, man. 30-20 game, you know, and for them to get eliminated the way they did, and no fault of Giannis's own. I mean, he can't be the only one out there. You got to have some help, right, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. And either way, you know, going back to the dad, father or not, Halliburton, he should not have been on there. He's still a fan at the end of the day. He's not on the team. So he brought it on himself, and I don't blame Giannis for doing that. I think had it been anybody else, that fan would probably get laid out.
So
I think he would have.
We're seeing fan video from the upper decks, right? And you see Halliburton jump and celebrate, right? He's on top of the table celebrating, showing his jersey. Right at the top of the key, you see Giannis, and you see the taunt from Halliburton's dad waving the towel, standing 4 feet away from him, and someone from the Bucks staff had to get in the way. And to think about this, I mean, he takes away from his son's accomplishment. His son made the biggest shot possibly of his entire career.
Yep.
And he decides 15 seconds later to make an ass out of himself and make him the storyline as opposed to his son being the storyline.
Go congratulate your son, dumbass. Don't be going over there and taunting another player. Your son just made a hell of a shot. You should be over there embracing your boy, not going and throwing dirt in the face.
Didn't we see something like this with John Morant's dad?
Sounds about right. It sounds
familiar.
familiar.
I think something happened recently with that. Well, not recently, but in years past. But the point is that, you know, he's his dad. He probably felt entitled to be out there, and ultimately he's still a fan. Should not have been out there.
Dude,
I don't blame and kudos to Giannis for restraining himself.
I'm tired of seeing the parents of athletes right now. Pat Mahomes' dad. You know, I'm tired of seeing, you know, back in the day, Arch Manning with Eli, you know, Dion with Shadur. I'm tired of seeing the parents. Like, why are the parents a thing now? I remember seeing Michael Jordan's dad right back in the day, but that was in the locker room after a championship, right? And then famously, Michael Jordan won a championship after his dad died, and he cried holding the trophy. But that was in the locker room. I don't remember them seeing. Back in the day, Tiger Woods' dad was probably one of the ones that I remember. Serena Williams and Venus Williams' dad also, where they came to the forefront. Lonzo and LaMelo Ball's dad became a thing. But to hype up their own son is cool, right? I don't mind that. But to go do like, how does Giannis know that this isn't just a random fan?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And how does security not jump in the way of this?
That's what somebody
That's
else
what I'm
was saying
saying
here
too.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Yep,
should
that's
what
I'm
should
saying
what should
too.
happen to this dad? What should happen to this dad? Should he be
Oh,
banned
also-
from future games?
Yep.
Should he be suspended for a while?
He should be, but he won't.
Well, and that just shows you that the Pacers have no integrity at that point. That's basically what this.
Oh,
what
the,
that
no, it's
shows.
more. It's more the NBA, not the Pacers. The NBA, because remember, it's the NBA that hands out those fan cards. They were sitting close to the action. It's the NBA that does the banning, and I guess to a certain degree too, the Pacers could do it, but ultimately, I think the buck stops with the NBA.
Hey, Jeff, I was going to ask you a question because this is what we're going to be talking about here shortly as well.
Yeah.
So we have a couple games happening tonight. The NBA, I'm sure you've been following as well.
No, I
So
have.
We
Yep.
have the Warriors and the Rockets. Rockets are on the brink right now. Warriors have them on the ropes. Same thing is
Mhm.
going to be said for the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Lakers. And me and Mike were presenting the question. Really, it was Mike's idea here, coming up with this topic. I'm going to present it to you. Which one of these teams you think is going to go fishing tonight? Do you think any one of these teams is going to extend their postseason play?
Man, oh man.
Which
oh, man.
one? Which one's most likely to get bounced tonight?
Yeah.
So it's only two, right? The Warriors, Rockets, and the Wolves, Lakers, right?
Right,
Yes,
right.
sir.
So Lakers, Rockets.
yeah.
Which one's most likely to get bounced
Yeah.
tonight?
I'm gonna go with Lakers.
Which is weird, right? Because they're the ones with the players that have experience, playoff experience. You know, you have LeBron James, who's a 4-time NBA champion. You have Luka Doncic, who's been to a couple of finals. But it just seems like there's just no defense being played there. They run out of gas. They ran out of gas in Game 4.
Well, that too, and then they don't have size.
Yeah.
They don't have size whatsoever. So Minnesota's just exploiting that.
The one series that I find to be interesting is that Rockets series against the Golden State, because Golden State is doing is shooting threes. I mean, it's two different teams going on. You have the Rockets, who like to pound it inside with Alperen Şengün and a lot of their big guys down low, and they like to attack the basket. Whereas the Warriors are just chunking threes, man. It's Curry, shooting 15, 18 3-point attempts. It's a weird dynamic there, because you have the Rockets, who shoot at a higher field goal percentage, against the Warriors, who have a lower shooting percentage, but they make threes. We talk about the efficiency all the time, effective field goal shooting percentage, right? This is a case study in that you have one team who shoots 43% but making threes against a team who's shooting 50% but making nothing but twos. The one making threes wins.
You know what's been that sold the outcome of these games? It's been, well, especially if you're looking at the Warriors and the Rockets game, it's shown that experience has been the X factor here, because the Warriors have shown that they know how to win these close games in the clutch moments, while the Rockets are still showing that they still need to learn how to do that. Even though they do have some veterans on the team, they really don't have that bona fide star. This is your closer. This is the guy you're going to give the ball to in that clutch moment. They don't have that. The Warriors do. They have some guys that can knock down the shots.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I've seen happen here is everybody's forgotten about old man Draymond Green. But I got to tell you, Draymond Green has been the X factor in the waning seconds of the fourth quarter because of his defense.
Well, he's setting the tone early with the physicality of it all, and he's testing the limits of the referees to see what he's going to be able to get away with, right?
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah. At the end of the day, can you make a stop? And Draymond Green is known as being that guy who can make a stop when needed.
Former defensive player of the year.
Might
He's
get
still
it
got
again.
some game.
Might get it again.
Yep.
No.
But the whole experience aspect of it all, because they asked Steph Curry that, and Curry was saying, yeah, we have the experience. We know what it's like to play playoff basketball, playoff intensity.
Yeah.
And to bring that over to the Spurs, we have rookies of the year with Wemby and with Castle.
Yeah.
And we've got young guys who have never made the playoffs. Devin Vassell has never made a playoff. Keldon Johnson's never made a playoff. Jeremy Sohan's never made. It doesn't matter how long they've been on the
gone
team.
to the play-in.
Yeah, they've never been in this type of situation. Yeah. And that being said, do you think that the Spurs are looking at this playoff series thinking to themselves, you know what? We need to focus more on getting veteran leadership than we do worried about the young players. What do you think, Jeff?
First of all, going back to the Rockets and the Warriors game, it's not like just a 3-point. It's just the inexperience of Houston, which is a little surprising considering they have a champion on there with Fred VanVleet. You got Brooks on there. You got Ime Udoka on the sidelines. But I think just that experience is just not there for Houston. Now, here's the thing. I think Houston's just one offensive player away from being a complete powerhouse in the West. They get somebody who's a consistent scorer, great. And I have a question for Joe. Joe, I thought Jalen Green was their guy. Where did he go? He disappeared.
He disappears. I'm going to say it too, and I know everybody gets on me for this, but I speak no lies. He disappears in big moments, much like Victor Wembanyama for the Spurs. You go ahead and put him against. You put him against the best talent that's out there in the NBA, and he all but folds. That's the same thing that's happening right now with the Rockets. You got, in order to go ahead and be that generational talent, to be looked upon as a bona fide NBA star. Hey, the league is yours now. You're the face of the league. You got to show up at the big moments. And I think that hasn't happened yet. And we can see that it hasn't happened for the Rockets, and it certainly hasn't happened for the San Antonio Spurs. Number one guy here, which is Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, but other than that, no, the Spurs, I think they'll start being in the mix. I'm saying playoff spot, but starting next season. They, just to see how they handle this offseason. The draft is going to help them if they keep their picks. So they're likely to get a nice impact player immediately. But all in all, no, I think they got to make the play-in next season, right, guys? I mean, anything less than that is just enough. It's just not good.
You have to make the play-in, Jeff, but here's the pushback, too. If the Spurs make the play-in, you see what these other teams are doing right now in the NBA. And as I said before, there's levels to the game, right? Every time you go into either a play-in or you're going to go into the playoffs, right? You're fighting for a playoff berth. The intensity of the game is amplified. It's amplified for the play-in game, and it gets even more amplified for every round of the playoffs that you go through. Right now, the Spurs, they have no identity. They are not known as a tough team. And when you push them defensively, they fade away. They've shown me right now, San Antonio, as currently constructed, they have no business in the playoffs. While they might be good enough to make a play-in, are they good enough to win? I think that's the bigger question, Jeff.
Yeah, ultimately, I think next season they have to get into the postseason. Not talking playoffs; it'll be great, but you can just show a little damage in the play-in. Maybe get a high play-in seed. I mean, that'd be good because we're done with individual development. We get it. Now it's for team development, and the next step for the team is getting to that play-in. Jimenez.
Yeah, and I like what you said, Jeff, about the fact that if they don't make the play-in next year, I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't even do that. I can't even do that, Jeff. If they don't make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, no.
It's been 6 seasons, man. It's been 6 seasons.
Dang.
And look at Hanover Fist's comment.
We still don't even know who's going to be leading this team anyway. Is it going to be Mitch Johnson? Is it going to be somebody different? We don't know the direction of this team. The only thing we know for certain is that it's probably not going to be Greg Popovich.
Look at what Hanover Fist says. He goes, takes like this makes me wonder if our hosts watch the games. We watch the games, and we're just being brutally honest with you guys. Sometimes y'all have to take the Spurs goggles off and really look at this team for what they currently are. As currently constructed, you got to be honest with yourself. Next year, you run it back again with the same roster, and you have a healthy Wemby, you have a healthy Fox, right? Castle's going to be healthy, hopefully, as well. Nothing's bad is going to happen to him. And you go into a play-in game, or you're going to go, okay, you win the play-in game, and you're going to go into the playoffs, and your prize is you're going to go ahead and go up against a number 1 seed or a number 2 seed. Spurs is currently constructed, and be honest with yourself. they're good enough to go ahead and beat a number 1 seed, a number 2 seed. I don't think so.
Mhm.
Well, it takes stars to win in the NBA, and that's the thing is that the idea that we're going to homegrown all of our stars is difficult, right? That's why you had to go get De'Aaron Fox, for crying out loud. You look at Boston. Mentioned this yesterday. Boston has Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. That alone gets you into the playoffs, but you need to surround them with Derek White and Porzingis and Horford over the years to make them good. Same thing with Jokic. Same thing with LeBron and all these players. The idea that the Spurs are just going to keep drafting players and eventually build a team because we somehow magically did that with Tim, Tony, and Manu back in the day is fantasy land. That's just not how it works.
That like that. That's what the Spurs are. Fantasy land right now.
Well, it is. It is. And what Joe's alluding to is that Spurs got no dogs. Back in the day, when Greg Popovich was still a good head coach, he famously yelled at the team while sitting during a timeout saying, "I want some nasty."
Yeah.
There ain't not one Spur right now that's got any nasty in him, except for Chris Paul.
Oh,
but
your boy Sohan.
I put Castle in there too.
He's got some dog in him.
No, the dog in him is are you look, I'll give you an example. We saw LeBron getting pushed by Anthony Edwards the other day, right? They're pushing and shoving each other, right? I don't see a player on the Spurs roster that would push back like that. I don't. Now, we've seen Sohan stand up to Dylan Brooks, right? But that's Dylan Brooks. That's not a player of Anthony Edwards' caliber. The Spurs.
Wait, so are you saying you don't think Sohan will throw?
That's not. But Anthony Edwards and LeBron James weren't throwing. They were playing rough. They were playing tough basketball. They were playing.
I think Sohan does that.
What's that?
I mean, I think Sohan gets under the skin of the other team.
He does. He's a pest, Mike.
I don't.
He's
see
a pest, yeah.
Oh,
I don't see it, man.
Here we go.
You
Joe.
said you liked it because
Here
he
we
gave
go.
a kiss to Thompson.
Dylan Brooks back in the day.
No, it was Thompson too. He got into it with Thompson.
Oh yeah. Well, was it Thompson?
Yeah, and weren't you
Thompson.
at a game?
Yeah.
Where you saw Sohan up the physicality, the nastiness, and you loved it?
They were on the floor when that happened. It wasn't. They were literally laying down on the floor when that happened. That wasn't during the actual playing of the game. They got tangled together and they pushed off of each other. It's a little bit different, man. I just don't see the Spurs having. Before the game, the show started, Joe and I were just talking, right? Joe and I were just having chats about this game. Can we talk about what we said about Wemby?
What did you say? What did we say?
No, it wasn't me saying this. It was you
Go
saying
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
Without using the word, you call them soft.
No, I'm going to say exactly what I told Mike. I said, you know what? Wemby needs to go out there and form an identity. He needs to go out there and play man basketball. You're the tallest motherfucker out there. Get in the paint. Stop pussing around and shooting those freaking, mid-range jumpers, the 3-point shots. Stop that. Stop it. Let your nuts drop, become a man, and play inside the paint. He's wimpy, dude. Wimpy Gunnas.
That's what you said earlier. You were saying Wimpy's balls haven't dropped.
They haven't dropped yet, dude. His balls haven't dropped yet. He's too busy over there signing autographs in Costa Rica, playing soccer with the kids.
Dude, am I the only one who got pissed off watching him play soccer in Costa Rica with kids?
Yeah,
like rest your knees, dude. Seriously, rest your knees.
Man, so on today's show, y'all talked about balls dropping and big black dick. What's going on, man?
Very nice. Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. The draft, the lottery is a couple of weeks away from now.
Yep.
We're looking forward to that, Jeff. Do you do what I do, Jeff? Do you watch hours of video of these prospects, or at least go on YouTube to check out highlights? So do you do any of that, or do you just worry about it after the ping pong balls are picked and after the players are selected?
I'll do a little homework just to get an idea of some of the top, draftees that are out there. The NBA is pretty good about sending information about the top players in the pool. So, but yeah, I keep an eye on them. I want to say I'm in depth, like some of these college guys, but no, I keep tabs on them. How's that?
Okay, CBS Sports released its latest mock draft, brought to you by Gary Parrish. I do like Gary Parrish. I've been following him for many, many years, so This is a legit one. Gary Parrish has, if all things go to form and Utah gets the number 1 overall pick, they would obviously go after Cooper Flagg, right? The small forward from Duke. Dylan Harper, number 2. But interestingly enough, who they have at number 3, Joe?
Who do they have?
People that they have that I've been arguing with online about. They have Trey Johnson of the Texas Longhorns, 6'6", 190 shooting guard who shot 39.7 from 3, averaged 20 points per game. They have Trey Johnson going 3rd in this draft. Number 4, VJ Edgecombe of Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Ace Bailey of Philadelphia. So I'm going to go down. They have Con Knipple at number 6, dude. Spurs Twitter would erupt in tears, just fall into tears. Yeah. They would be beside themselves. They'd grab their blankie, they'd get their bottle of Big Black Dick, and they'd start crying and drink away.
You know what the battle cry? You know what the battle cry for this brother would be? Free the nipple.
Free the.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
They have Kasparis Yakanois going number 7, the Illinois freshman point guard. And at number 8, they have the Spurs taking Jeremiah Fears. I keep seeing all these mock drafts saying the Spurs would go get Jeremiah Fears. There's something in the water when it comes to this. Jeremiah Fears, who's a very good player, played for Oklahoma. As a freshman, 17 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, couldn't shoot a 3 to save his life, but playmaker.
What's his position?
Point guard. Jeff. If he's the best player on the board still at number 8, point guard available, what if the Spurs get the number 5 pick or number 4 pick rather?
I said Newell.
And we have a chance to get Ace Bailey, for example.
No, I like Newell, man.
I like him too, but that's not a number 4 pick.
No,
that's if you want to go number 8 or 12, then I can see that. But Jeff, going after a point guard.
You know what? I mean, best available, and you got to do that. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. Are there any good quality bigs where the Spurs could get at?
Not at that position.
Well, the problem with the bigs that you have, like you have Derek Queen from Maryland potentially going number 9 to Houston.
Yeah.
The problem that you have is that you have Kamen Maluak from Duke, right? Who's 7'2". They're one-dimensional, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're very much we're defense like Common from Duke is just defense, right?
Yeah,
might be able to develop a shot, but he's the defensive guy. Derek Queen's described as a Alperen Şengün light type of guy who could do a little bit of everything. But they have the Spurs taking at number 14, Jace Richardson, a guard from Michigan State who averaged 12 points per game. But why would he get picked? Dude shot 41% from 3. This reminds me, Joe, of like the Cowboys in the draft. You're like, okay, whoever they get, the Cowboys get at 12, just make sure that at some point in the draft they get a running back, right? They eventually got Jadon Blue, right? They eventually got that guy from Clemson. The Spurs, you look at it, you have to say that the Spurs kind of have to come out with a big guy and with someone who can shoot the 3?
They need somebody that can shoot. They need a bucket getter. This team direly needs some bucket getters. They need somebody that can knock down a 3-point shot when they're just standing beyond the arc, like we used to have back in the day. Bruce Bowen, he was a 3-point specialist. You know, Brent Barry, 3-point specialist. Steve Kerr, 3-point specialist. That was their job. Get free, get open, just stand behind the 3-point line. Timmy will get you the ball, or somebody will get you the ball as they're driving in. Your job is to knock down that 3-point shot. That's what we need. That, and you need somebody who can knock down a consistent jumper. The Spurs at times become one-dimensional, but if you can get some bucket getters, that's going to help your game dramatically. And they also need somebody who can actually play the center position. That's not Wemby. Wemby's not going to be that guy. They need somebody that's going to be inside the paint and let Wemby go ahead and work on the perimeter.
Right. Going back to Jeremiah Fears, by the way, I'm looking at the Ringer. The Ringer does this whole thing where they try to give an analysis according to like a Venn diagram of who the player looks like and feels like. They say it's kind of a hybrid of Devin Harris, Scoot Henderson, and Jaden Ivey is who they have him. As far as the other player that the Spurs would be looking at, according to CBS Sports, Jace Richardson, They say he's really good at perimeter shooting, off-ball movement, ball handling, has a good feel for the game, has the height. He's 6'6". But it's just one of those things where you look at this and you think to yourself, what are the Spurs going to do at 8? This is a good draft. This is a healthy draft. But are the Spurs in a position where they have to go for need, or do they just go and get the best player? Because if the Spurs get the number 2 overall pick, we're getting Dylan Harper. I don't care if we have.
You think you sure about that?
Yeah, I don't care. He's the number 2 guy in this draft.
You would think so, right? Hopefully, Brian Wright does the right thing because he's been making no-brainers, right? You get a number 1 pick, you pick Wemby. Number 4 falls in your lap, Castle's on the board, you pick him. Brian Wright's feet are going to be held to the fire in this year's draft because what if they don't get that top 4 pick or top 5 and they stay where they're at? I want to see what this brother can do now.
Exactly, because what have we seen him do? We've seen Josh Primo being taken instead of Alperen Şengün, right?
Yeah.
We saw Jeremy Sohan get taken instead of Jalen Williams. I mean,
Luka Samanic, Josh Primo,
Luka Samanic. I mean,
Lonnie Walker.
When it's not a no-brainer, he struggles, Jeff. That's the point that we're making. When the idea of taking Wemby, guess what? Everybody in this room would have taken Wemby number 1
Ray
overall.
Charles would have picked him.
For sure.
At number 4, at number 4, after we saw Reece Arce, Sarr, and Shepard get taken 1, 2, and 3, everybody in the room, everybody at the bar that we were at would have said, well, obviously we're taking Castle. So we can't give flowers to Brian Wright for what he's drafting back-to-back Rookie of the Years because they were the no-brainer picks of the draft.
Right.
We want to see what he can do if he gets with that 1 pick at 12, right? Or 14 rather. What are we going to get with that, right? Show me some skill in that. That's what we're coming at when it comes to it. But we're talking about Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. What are you working on these days, man?
Well, we got Locked On Spurs coming up in a few minutes here. We're joined by Vinny Vencetta, Ken's 5's very own. We're discussing Devin Vassell, putting him in the spotlight. And then we have some earlier news about a brand new set of cards, Rookie of the Year cards
for
Stephon Castle. Yeah. But the cool thing, I mean, that's cool. You know, Castle gets his card, but the rare 1-of-1 duo autograph Wemby Castle card, that's going to be worth a fortune, whoever pulls that. But it's available there. And Joe is coming on Locked On Spurs tomorrow. We're talking about Castle, and we have fun with ChatGPT. We asked it a stupid question about the Spurs. Answer. Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But Joe's on tomorrow over there, Jimenez.
We have a super chat coming in real fast, Jeff. Before we let you go, let's see what it says.
It still hasn't dropped yet. Here, it's coming. It's coming. There it is.
Drew Show, thank you so much for the support. Drew says you can't make that the monologue about getting bucket getters and 3-point shooters and then say we need Giannis. Giannis is a coward take. Stars. Okay, so here's the thing, Joe and Jeff, rather. The idea about Giannis joining the Spurs, the whole Kevin Durant last year was Trae Young. Do you think this is just fan fiction, or do you think that this is something that is potential that has potential for legs?
Oh man!
Because here's the thing about Milwaukee, by the way. Before you answer that question, he has no outs. Giannis has no way to improve that team. They don't have the talent. They don't have the draft capital. He's stuck.
Damian Lillard's out all next season because of the torn Achilles.
And Giannis has a player option the following year. He can opt out of that contract. This is a situation where Milwaukee needs to get something before Giannis walks, and they get nothing.
Yeah, I think Giannis is going to have to force himself out. That's about the only way, because Milwaukee's not going to give him up easily. And if they do, they're going to want quite a return for Giannis. The Spurs have what it takes to make something happen. If you're Milwaukee, if you're trading Giannis, you're blowing it up. So what better way to go through a rebuild than getting some immediate first-round picks via the Spurs? Spurs got plenty of those.
I have
but
one
all in
last
all,
question.
I mean, real quick though, Joe. Vegas has the Spurs with the second best odds of getting them behind the net. So
exactly,
Vegas knows all. They always say so. They must know something.
Your last question here, Jeff. In your professional opinion, if you had a choice, and this was actually a scenario that would play out. We're just talking hypotheticals.
Yeah.
If you had a choice between Giannis and Kevin Durant, and
Yeah.
they're going to come over here and play for the San Antonio Spurs, which one of these players would you want? Do you think would be the better fit for the San Antonio Spurs?
I'll pick the Greek Freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Younger. He's just in his prime still. Durant seems to be on his way out. No knock on him. He put up some good numbers, but if you're looking at medium term, not saying long term, but medium term, you want to go with Giannis.
I like Sam's comment here. Says
Yeah.
as of yesterday, Castle's completely off the board, and if Milwaukee is in dire straits, they definitely don't hold any cards, nor can they call the shots in dealing Giannis. The Spurs got De'Aaron Fox for 20 cents on the dollar.
Bag of chips.
Basically. I mean,
basically.
that will give flowers to Braun right for that.
Yeah.
Right. So that's fantastic. That is Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. Don't forget to subscribe to him on YouTube. Follow him at Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter and on Threads. Jeff, next time I see you, we'll have some drinks. Possibly.
No.
Possibly.
No.
A taste of some big
No.
black dick.
No, I'm passing on that. That's all you, Jimenez. That's completely all you. Laters, dudes.
Later,
Later
man.
on, man. Hey, let's give some love to MCS General Contracting. When we come back on the other side of this commercial, on the other side of this 30-second commercial, some breaking news involving Shadir Sanders.
No,
on the
I
other
saw
side.
that. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
After talking about the name of that rum all day long,
Jeez.
I feel a little bit weird saying Diamond Hard, but it is what it
Feel
is.
dirty. Yeah, cochino.
Give Chris Lehow a call, 210-774-9155, 210-774-9155 if you have some concrete placement needs, if you need a parking lot done, if you need a slab done, a swimming pool, pickleball court, basketball court, doesn't matter, sidewalk, ADA compliance stuff. Give them a call, 210-774-9155. If you can't show my number too, Joe, this is my cell phone number, 210-508-0369. I do financial services. So after the show, if you want to reach out to me, send me a text, give me a call, 210-508-0369. If you have questions about investments, if you have questions about insurances, whether it be life insurance. Dude, I've sold 7 life insurance policies in the last week and a half. Life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care. And now, as of this week, auto and homeowners insurance. If you already have auto and homeowners insurance, which you should have, it's the law.
Yeah.
You want an agent for it? I'm representing Geico, representing Allstate, Nationwide, Progressive, Liberty Mutual, Safeco, and a lot of other companies as well. Give me a call, 210-508-0369. I can shop it out for you as well, man. Dude, insurance is pricey these days.
It is, man.
Homeowners as well. So give me a call, 210-508-0369. The Atlanta Falcons didn't have the balls to do it. They didn't have the balls to punish themselves after what happened to Shadir Sanders, that prank phone call that was made by the son
They said
of one of the coordinators.
They said, we're sorry.
They said, we're sorry. Bad. Are bad. So for those of you who don't know, Shadir Sanders over the weekend was supposedly going to be drafted in the top 21 at least in the NFL draft, and he slid all the way down to the 5th round. But before he got drafted, he received a prank phone call from some punk 20-something-year-old who reached out to him and pretended to be Mickey Loomis, the general manager of the New Orleans Saints, to say that, hey, man, congratulations, you're now a Saint. And this is, you have all these NFL potential players, all these college players who are waiting for that phone call, right? They're waiting with their families and their friends and their girlfriend and all of that stuff. And he gets a phone call that was a prank that was then put on social media. Ha ha ha, we got you. Investigation quickly showed that the person who made that phone call was the son of defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich,
Yep.
who of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, these players were given these phones, right? Some of these players were given phones, so it's not like their personal cell. They were given these phones. How did this happen? Well, it turned out that the defensive coordinator apparently left his laptop open.
It was iPad. It was
His iPad?
Yeah.
And his son found Shedeur Sanders' phone number, and went with it. Falcons didn't have the balls to do anything about it, but the NFL finally did, man. Dropped the hammer today. Fined the Atlanta Falcons $250,000 and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000. The guy makes $1.7 million. His son cost him 100 G's, Joe.
And there it is.
$100,000.
There it is, man. Falcons were fined $250,000 as defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, went ahead and did that. I guess in hindsight, it wasn't a smart move, but you're in your own home.
Right.
You wouldn't think that your son would do something like that.
Well,
but again, you can never trust people.
It was a slap on the wrist for the Falcons.
It was.
$250,000 is not a lot for an NFL franchise.
And then they fined Ulbrich $100,000 for
But
failing
that's
to prevent
big.
the disclosure.
Essentially what that is, if you look at, he makes about $1.6 million per year. They essentially fined him a game's worth of pay. Right?
Yeah, and
the 17 games is almost a little bit more than a game's worth of pay.
And here's the thing that's dumb here. At the end of the day, the Sanders family, they should have their feet held to the fire too, because at the end of the day, you have somebody in the caliber of, you have Shedeur Sanders, whose name is out there. It's popular, right? He didn't have any professional representation by a professional, let's say, agent, right? He didn't have a professional agent representing him. So what they did is they went ahead and released his phone number as like, I'm going to send this out to everybody in the NFL, right? Instead of going ahead and saying, if it was an agent, he would have said, look, if you want to talk to my guy, here's his number. We're not going to go ahead and just release his phone number out there in a mass email kind of thing to everybody. You don't get to have that privileged information unless you're really serious about talking with my guy, right? Because he didn't have an agent. They didn't have that luxury. So that's why the phone number was so prevalently available.
The problem that you have, though, is the fact that you have this 21-year-old who took the liberty to do this. Like, how immature and stupid do you have to be? How arrogant do you have to be? How entitled do you have to be to ruin someone's day and to potentially cost their father their livelihood
over a stupid joke?
I don't think it was a joke.
No, it's a prank.
I don't think it's a prank. I think it's hatred.
Whatever it is, it's dumb.
I think it's brought, like, what is the origin of this? The origin of this is hatred.
It's immaturity at its finest there. He's just wanting to do this. Hey, look at what I got. Goes to the frat brothers. Let's go ahead and do this. It's a bad move at the end of the day. Shows the immaturity of his son there.
And how do you go up to your father and cost the father $100,000?
That's basically a semester of school.
Well, where did that guy go to? Ole Miss? I mean, it's basically 2 years worth of schooling there. Well, if it's out of state.
I'm saying talking about a whole year.
Right.
Because you have several semesters in 1 year. So if you're paying for the whole tuition for the whole year or 2 years, that's a lot of money. That's your college tuition.
JHNSB say it's a lighthearted joke. No, it's not. If I called you and said that, your dad died, and then say, oh, well, I'm just joking. Well, that's a prank, right? No. There's certain things you don't do.
No.
What does that movie say? Men at Work? You don't mess with another man's money.
Yeah.
You don't mess with another man's woman. You don't mess with another man's French fries.
Yeah. Oh, we got an incoming
exactly
super chat that I got to address here because the Drew Show, he's been sporting us here. Appreciate you, man. He was saying the Drew Show, he says, no shot freak over Durant is a coward take.
Well, I mean, obviously Kevin Durant is the better shooter, right? Still knocking down 43% from three. But Giannis does so much. Giannis is somebody who affects both sides of the ball. Kevin Durant's a better defender than what most people give him credit for.
Yeah.
But look at Giannis's stats from the past 5 games. He shows that he's still a superstar. He's still one of the 5 to 10 best players in the league. Last night, shot 9 of 17 from the field. He had 20 rebounds and 13 assists to go along with 30 points. 30 points, 20 rebounds, 13 assists. Had 2 steals, 2 blocks. What more do you want from a player?
No.
Kevin Durant can shoot 43% from 3 all day long. But the more well-rounded player is this. And what's going to complement Victor Wembanyama more is going to be somebody who is not afraid to play down low and bang bodies. Because again, Wemby, kind of soft.
Wimpy? You're going to call him Wimpy?
Kind of, sort of.
Wimpy Ganas. And everybody gets mad. I'm not the one that made up the name. That was made up by our listeners here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get mad because you say Wimpy. How dare you say Wimpy Ganas?
Yeah. Another super chat coming on in.
Yeah, we got another super chat from the Drew Show here. $5 coming in.
Saying you want Giannis to say you want our generational Wimpy G to play the Brook Lopez. He is the right fake alien.
He says Joe is right. Fake aliens.
Okay, so here's the thing about that, though, man. I mean, maybe just maybe we talked about this a couple months ago, Joe. Maybe just maybe Wemby isn't a generational player. Maybe he's just a really good player. Remember I said, what if he's just Giannis? Giannis won the MVP. Giannis won a ring. What if Wemby is not a top 10 player of all time? What if Wemby is going to eventually become a top 50 or top 75 player of all time? Still a Hall of Famer. Will still have his name up on the rafters, right? His jersey up in the rafters at one point. But I think the question is are we asking for too much too soon from him? He's still just 20 years old.
He still has a lot to learn here in the league. You know, he still has to form his own identity and find his footing. I'm just telling you guys, as currently constructed, Spurs fans want this greatness out of Wemby. But maybe the thing is, we're wanting this out of him too soon. It takes time for certain players to develop into who they're really going to become. Case in point, Tony Parker took a little bit of time. You know, he wasn't very impactful in his first season.
But he wasn't heralded to be a generational player or even a future all-star. In fact, if Tony Parker had played with maybe about 20 other teams in the NBA, probably would have failed.
Yeah, the unicorns that we had here, I'd have to say, would be like David Robinson came in and was very impactful. Had the Spurs do a complete turnaround from one season to the next. Mm-hmm. Tim Duncan came in, immediately had an impact on the Spurs game. You know, but these are special type of players. Wemby, you would think he would have that same impactfulness on the team, but it hasn't been that way. And I think it also has to do with the cast of character that's surrounding Wemby. Had they had a better, let's say, talent level or talent pool around him, maybe his impact would have been felt more.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really at the end of the day, if we want Wemby to be a better player, surround him with better players.
I saw DeJounte Murray yesterday, former Spur DeJounte Murray, on a TikTok yesterday. And it was a clip from a podcast that he had done. It was a really popular podcast. I forgot which one it was. But they were asking him about his time in San Antonio. And he was talking about joining the Spurs and how boring he thought the team was, how boring he thought the city was. Joe, he went as far as to say that he thought that the women in San Antonio were unattractive as well. He says all they do is eat.
Oh, God.
But what I found interesting was he said that Tim, Tony, and Manu and Pop, all 4 of them refused to talk to him after he got drafted.
Yeah.
And he was already on the team. He had already gone through camp. He was already regular season. He goes, these guys weren't even talking to me. It's weird what comes out after the fact. DeJounte Murray was their first-round draft pick, right? Talented player. He said that the Spurs players, the top players on the team, and that the coaching staff did not talk to him until a player got hurt and they were forced to play him. I found that to be strange.
Yeah.
Because now we're going back in time to think about Kawhi Leonard and the divorce that happened with the Spurs back in the day. I don't know, man. It's weird how, Kawhi comes out and says, well, they weren't nice to me. You have DeJounte Murray say, man, I was just DeJounte Murray said that he went out and made friends with Danny Green and Jonathan Simmons. It was me, Jonathan Simmons, and Danny Green. The three of us became good buddies, good friends, because no one else would talk to us. I found that to be weird, man.
I don't think it's weird. Maybe it was just this is from a different time, man. It's like, in order for us to talk with you or converse with you, you have to show us something, right? If you're in your rookie season and all that, of course you're going to get hazed and do all, they're not going to really want to talk with you all that much. It was from a different era. You know, I think things are different now.
Tony O'Neill reaches out to us on our YouTube stream, which is the chat powered by MCS General Contracting, saying, Mike, do you think DeJounte Murray tells the truth? And he has the emoji of thumbs down. Okay, well, first of all, why do we all believe that the certain Spurs players are good guys? I mean, Tony Parker tried, or maybe he did bang Brent Barry's wife. So for Tony Parker to not talk to DeJounte Murray makes total sense to me. I mean, if he was somebody who was willing to throw texts at and flirt with a teammate's wife, you're telling me that he's not going to, that it's unheard of that he wouldn't pay attention to a rookie guy who plays the same position as him? I think there's some truth to it.
What did you say? You believe everything you hear? When Kawhi said he never wanted to leave San Antonio?
Oh, yeah.
And what happened? He forced his way out.
Mm-hmm.
Said, I want to get out of here, man. I'm done.
Joe, the biggest celebrity birthday today is Gal Gadot, 40 years old.
Wow. She's still cute, man. She's hot. But somebody said she can't act, but she's hot as hell.
Well, it's because of the whole Wonder Woman thing. The Wonder Woman first one, the first one people gave okay reviews on. It was the sequels that people were like, well, that's just trash.
Well, it was only one. It was like, I don't know, Wonder Woman 19 something. It's like, it was garbage, dude. But you know what isn't garbage? Sinners. Go see it, man.
Really?
It's not going to be like that dumb movie that you saw, Beetlejuice.
Oh, that was awful.
You had to see it twice, and you're like, damn, the second time was just as bad as the first time. You're going to go see Sinners. You go see Sinners with Chica, and you're both going to come out of the theater and stay for the scene at the end.
Okay.
After the credits are playing.
Okay, good.
Make sure you stay. And you're going to come out of that movie. You're going to be like, wow, this was a good movie.
Joe, what was the number one song in the United States back on this date, 1995, 30 years ago?
Damn.
I'll give you a hint. You hear it all the time at Spurs games.
Get ready for this.
Oh, God, I hate that song. Oh, my God.
Ready for this?
It was back in 1995. It was number one for 7 weeks from April 15th to June 2nd. Wow, it's a long time. This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan.
This is how we do it. Yeah.
30 years ago was the number one songs, man.
Give us a little bar.
This is how we do it. It's Friday night, and I feel all right.
There you go.
Party's here on the Northwest side.
I like it how you're game for that. You're not embarrassed to sing, dude. I'll give you that.
Designated driver, take the keys to my truck.
Look at
saying sampling this, which is out, says Joe is saying Sinners is so good that Mike will come out watching it with his balls dropped.
Hey, Haley Seinfeld in Sinners, dude. Damn.
I heard.
Damn.
I heard about that scene. I heard about that scene because I follow Carter Anderson comedy on TikTok. Dude, Carter Anderson just cracks me up. He's a comedian from San Antonio, by the way. But he lives now in Austin. He does a fantastic job, dude.
Oh, look at Greg is saying, y'all remember the Spurs version? They did have one of This Is How We Do It. They did have one that they played like
lame.
That. Yeah.
Lame.
And what is he saying, Tony Ornelas? Kawhi should be better. He has been in the NBA longer, and he is older than Wemby. Wemby is 20 years. Give me my what?
Give me a break, JHNSB.
No.
So he's basically talking about how, Wemby right now, like what is he right now when it comes to the rankings of NBA players, right? Is Kawhi is he's obviously a top 25 player in the NBA. Top 20, sure. But I think anybody who has Wemby in the top 10 right now is taking it a little too far. He's probably number 15. There are probably 14 other players in the NBA right now that are better than Wemby.
Yeah.
Maybe 12.
You think I should go and get my Wimpy Ganas jersey?
No, but what you got to do is you got to trademark that catchphrase.
Wimpy Ganas.
So I was talking about the 1995 music scene because you were showing me something on social media. Apparently there's some 1990s party going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In June?
Yeah, in June. It looks pretty cool, dude. I saw it on Facebook, actually. And I was like, hey, dude, this looks like fun. I was like, maybe we should go.
Yeah.
You, Chica, I take somebody with me. It'd be like a good time, man.
It's funny because it's basically cover bands that are playing music from all over the 90s. So some of it's R&B, some of it's pop, some
New
of it
Kids
is rock.
on the Block and all sorts of music. They're even playing Third Eye Blind, a whole bunch of bands from the 90s.
So I have tickets to go see Jelly Roll next week.
Okay.
And that's going to be at the Alamo Dome, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you could have seen him for free.
True. True. Actually, that party we're talking about is over at Sable Hall. And they have a show going on. Let me see here. That's going to be, let's see here. I'm looking for it right here. Sable Hall. I'm not Stable Hall, rather. I'm not familiar with them, dude. Was it something else at some point? So that's going to be going on over there. It's a 90s it's a 90s party, ultimate 90s party is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
It's called the Full House.
Yeah, it's over there at the Pearl.
July 11th is when it's going to be.
Yeah, it's at the Pearl. It's on a Friday, I think it is.
Yeah. I took Jeff Garcia to Be Kind Rewind one time, and he was not having it, dude. So turns out that because of I've got to sell my tickets to George Strait, Chris Stapleton. I was gonna go to Philadelphia to watch them, but because my girlfriend's son's girlfriend is graduating from UT with her master's, we're gonna go to do that instead. So now I got to go on Ticketmaster today and try to sell them. Probably gonna get like 50 cents on the dollar for them. It's gonna suck.
Damn. And they have some good concerts coming over there in Philly. They have one where I just saw it pop up here on my feed. They have Billy Corgan.
Oh, nice.
And he's not going to be with the Smashing Pumpkins. It's his other bands, the Machines of God or something like that. They're going to be doing a stint over in Philadelphia. And you have VIP packages and stuff like that. I was looking at it, but I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't mind meeting Billy Corgan, the great Billy Corgan.
Right.
Because Smashing Pumpkins is my favorite band. But I'll wait for him to come to San Antonio because they do frequent here. Maybe I'll go ahead and try to get a package where I can, go back behind the scenes there and VIP and maybe meet him, take a picture. That'd be cool. But one thing that I did see, Mike, that it was interesting to me, dude, they have this one cruise that's coming up right next year. And this cruise has some bangers, dude. They have Creed. They have all these bands that we grew up with, right? Collective Souls on there.
Nice.
Like all these bands, like they're just banger after banger after banger, dude. And it's on a cruise. And I think it's going to be going to like,
it's a cruise.
It's a cruise, and I think it leaves from like Florida. I think Naples or something like that, or Miami. They have different ports of call where you can leave from, and it's like 5 days, and you're going to go to like the Bahamas and stuff like that, and you get to listen to all these bands they're going to be performing. I want to go, dude.
There's the Keith Sweat the Keith Sweat tour also is pretty good. I'm gonna see if Keith Sweat has that cruise going. Chica and I were talking about all the vacations that were going on, right? We're going to Miami this weekend because her daughter has the weekend off from school, and her daughter is studying to become a physician's assistant, and it's a very intense program. They only have a few days off. They don't have like summers off or anything like that. It's very intense. So she's got the weekend off. So we're gonna go hang out with her. After that, I'm gonna go do a little trip with my parents this summer.
Yeah.
Go do a little gambling with them. But I think we're gonna be done with traveling at the end of June for like basically the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But Chica and I were talking about how, dude, I'll never understand the desire, unless it's a weekend trip. It's a 2-day trip, fine. But I'll never ever in my entire life ever go to Port A or Corpus again.
It's overpriced, and it's not going to be as beautiful a scene as you would be in like Jamaica or Barbados or somewhere
Dude,
else.
it's cheaper to go to Galveston, cheaper to go get on a cruise ship, have an all-inclusive thing.
Go to Cancun. Cancun has beautiful beaches.
Take
man.
you to Cancun and back 4 days. 4
beautiful
days.
beaches, all-inclusive resorts, man. It's beautiful, man. It's nothing like it.
It used to be go to Corpus for a cheap trip, and it's just not that anymore, dude. Here's the Sweat Fest. This is the Keith Sweat cruise.
Keith Sweat.
The lineup performing at, it's called Sweat Fest.
Oh God, dude.
Joe, Keith Sweat, Morris Day, Tony, Slick Rick, Raheem, After 7, Atlantic Star.
Isn't this
Big
right up
Daddy
Chica's
Kane.
alley?
This is
Right?
completely
She
up her
likes
alley.
all this, right? Like R&B and all that.
Tommy Davidson's going to perform some comedy.
There you go. You and Chica have a good time here going to that.
Dude, I can't wait to tell Chica about this.
You're gonna be like the bodyguard. Don't you touch her. Get away. Get away.
By the way, because now I want to go to Sweatfest, I need you guys to give me a call at 210-508-0369. I need some more business so I can go see Keith Sweat.
Mike's like, call me. Call me.
210-508-0369. I swear, like 3 life insurance policies will get me to Sweatfest. Make this happen. What's that last comment that I just saw right there?
Let's go ahead and put it up here.
It was a Sith coming out saying, Port A was fun for us poors. Plus, they have a grocery store and I cook for a living, so it worked out. Dude, Elias, who wants to cook on vacation? What's the point of cooking on vacation? I don't get it. Dude, how much is Sweatfest?
I don't know, man, but I'm eyeing those cruises, dude. I got my eye on 2 cruises right now.
Which one are you looking for?
There's one that leaves in January, and that one has some bands from like the early 2000s, and I thought that was cool. You know, and they're gonna be leaving out of Galveston, I think, and that one's about 3 or 4 days. Or do I want to wait till further in the year and then just go to that one cruise that I'm eyeing that has like Creed and I think they had Creed. It wasn't 3 Doors Down, Collective Soul, Better Than Ezra, and some of these other bands that I like. And I was like, dude, I wouldn't mind going to that one. 5 days, all inclusive.
look at this one, Joe. Next February, it's a cruise to Jamaica with Gene Simmons, Lover Boy,
dude,
Ugly Kid Joe, Blue Oyster Cult, Jefferson Starship. What is this?
What are they gonna do? Wheel him out on freaking like a wheelchair? I mean, Kiss is old already, dude. I think they're gonna stop touring after that.
There's a hip hop cruise coming up. Don't recognize any of these bands though.
Yeah, man, I gotta start planning out the cruise because I'm really wanting to go to that cruise, man. It looks really good.
That's funny.
I got screenshots of it. And speaking of which, man, I got to buy my daughter those tickets to go see that Twilight in concert where they have the film and they have the whole orchestra. Remember, I was talking to you about it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw they're going to be coming over here to the Majestic in October, and she wants to go. But tickets for this thing aren't cheap, dude. It's like just to see the film, you know, they're going to project it on a screen and they have the orchestra. It's like tickets start at $91 and they go up to like $135.
Dude, I had something happen to me last night that I thought was kind of weird. My daughter is in 7th grade, right?
Yeah.
She's in a dance class for her middle school. They announced that they're going to have a performance at Brennan High School, right? So they're going to have a performance there. They said, you need to have tickets. So I asked my family, hey, how many of y'all want to go? Got 8 tickets. It is a school performance for dance. It's at the theater.
Okay.
They charge for admission, Joe, to go see my own kid's stuff. It's It's not a sporting event.
Yeah.
There's no concessions. It was $9 a ticket.
Damn.
I spent $72.
That's quite a bit.
That's crazy. Do you know what was worse than that? My oldest daughter, who's now working at KSAT
Yeah,
12, Gabby, when she was in elementary school, they had us go to the school for a PTA event.
Yeah.
They took all their drawings and put them in frames and charged $50 each for them.
God, dude.
And told all the kids, go tell your parents you want to buy it. Dude, I still have those two in my office. It's crazy.
You know what I saw that was interesting to me? You're in Houston, right?
I don't go to Houston.
You're in Houston. Well, you're in the outskirts.
Outskirts.
You're in the Woodlands area.
Woodlands and
Conroe,
Conroe,
right?
yeah.
So you're near Houston.
F
Check this
Houston.
out.
I don't go there very often.
Check this out. Houston now has a Trump-themed burger restaurant that just
Yeah.
opened up. Trump Burger.
Yeah. Is it where you like order food and then you don't get it?
I don't know, dude. I just saw this. I was like, that's wild to me, man. It's like they have an actual Trump burger in Houston, man. Maybe you should check that out. You know what else I heard that they're going to have in Houston?
Can you imagine if there was a far left person that was idolized and had the God complex that the far right gives this guy?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, here's the thing, too. I was going to tell you. I saw this. They are going to have a free concert in Houston, right? Smash Mouth. Of course, the lead singer passed away, but that's going to be a free concert that's going to be coming up here. I don't know if it already occurred or it's going to happen.
Jane just B says Mike is going to go set that place on fire.
God. And look at what they say. Here's an easy mic fix. Fix Mike. Go make more money.
Some more money. That's what I'm saying. Help me out. Get
Look
referrals.
Seth Elias is saying Gabby is the best.
That is true.
Gabby is the best. And Gabby's pretty good from what I heard at playing darts.
Yeah.
She's cleaning house.
Very funny.
She came back and told us, I clean house.
Very nice.
I was like, nice.
I got to get back to work. The S&P 500 is down. The Dow is down. The NASDAQ is down. The Russell 2000 is down. Gold is down. Yeah. So that, but have fun with Trump burgers. Fantastic.
Go get you one, Mike.
Man. After a long day of work this weekend, gonna chill out, get some good food in me, get some sleep in me, and maybe enjoy a nice taste of big black dick.
There you go. That's what's going to be the drink of the weekend right there. You damn Mike. You're wild for today, dude. This, if any episode would be the Sucio episode, it would be this one.
Oh, dude, Chica hates it when I talk, dirty like that. I'll be honest with you, but with this, she wanted me to have fun with this.
God,
she thought it was hysterical.
I'll bet.
Very nice. Everyone have a fantastic day. We will be back tomorrow. I'll be back in studio doing the show, back in the saddle again. Hit the like button on the way out. We'll be back.
All right. See you boys tomorrow.